Okay, good evening. This is the Town of Newfane Selectboard regular meeting. It is October 1st, Monday, 6 p.m. And I would like to welcome everybody here in person and those people who are watching on video. Tonight we have Mike Fitzpatrick, Chris Williams, Gary Delius, Shelley Huber, a select board member, is absent tonight, as is Shannon Mecca, our administrative assistant. So we have 4 people present tonight. We have Jay Wilson, road foreman, we have the road commissioner, and we have some guests. So welcome to the guests. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is to call the meeting to order and see if there are any additions or amendments to the agenda. Would one call the amendment to the agenda that Shannon is absent and we don't have the select board, her, not select board, her administrative assistant's report tonight. It will be spoken next meeting. Okay, so we're going down to the minutes and we have 3 minutes to approve. The first one was our regular minutes on September 17th. Is there anybody who can approve? Okay, a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion about those minutes?
I would need to abstain because I wasn't at that meeting.
No.
On the 17th.
Oh, you're abstaining
Yeah,
and voting?
right.
Yes, okay. So all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, we have 1 abstention, Gary Delius, and the minutes are approved. The second set of minutes are also for that night. It was September 17th, and that we had a Board of Liquor Control meeting.
Make a motion to accept it.
Okay.
I'll
Anybody
second.
And you were absent?
Abstaining.
Okay. Any discussion about that evening in the minutes? No? All those in favor of approving, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. So we have 3, 4, and 1 abstention. The last set of minutes was September 24th, and that was the Daniel Hill Road hearing. Is anybody who can approve those minutes, please?
No, you approve.
Yeah, I'll approve.
I'll second it.
Okay,
Abstain.
And you
Absent
would.
from me.
yes. Okay, any discussion about those minutes? Okay, all those in favor of accepting the Daniel Hills Road hearing minutes, please say aye.
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 And I say aye. Any opposed? No? Okay, the minutes pass. So all 3 sets of minutes have passed. We go down to the next category, which is road business. And we have Jay Wilson with the road foreman's report, and the road commissioner, Chris Williams, is on the board. Okay, Jay, thank you.
No.
The paving has been finished today on Depot Road, Grams Hill Road, and in front of the town garage. The material for the Hunter Brook bridges is $2,300 a bridge to use the extreme duty pressure treated, or approximately $1,100 for the roughs on Hemlock. So I just need to know what your preference is for those.
Anybody have an opinion?
What is it?
It's-
23 for the pressure treated and 11?
Yeah, it's apparently much different than the pressure treated you just normally get. It's a like 40-year pressure treated. So it's 2,300 and 1,100 difference between the 2.
I don't know what we have for money for that, right? Shannon here.
I think for materials it was 5,000 for bridges. So I think we're okay.
Is that something that has to be approved tonight?
I just didn't know which direction you were.
I've got a, excuse me.
No, go ahead, I'm sorry.
What is, I should know, 'cause I've been there, but I forgot. What's under that for structure?
Steel I-beams and a combination of those beams with the cement in them.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them are cement abutments with the steel underneath.
They're in good shape.
Seamless.
Well, this would be just for the decking?
The decking, yeah.
Where's the hemlock? How much, the hemlock's enough to do it for the 1,100?
For each bridge, so it'd be 2,200 and,
The runners and then buoys.
yeah.
I don't know, hemlock will last if you keep it cleaned off 8, 9 years.
Maybe by then, if flood come knock it down, we'll get a new bridge in. Or go for a grant to get something up there.
I make a motion to go with hemlock.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
But I agree with you guys. I think it'll be there long enough. And while the pressure treated might last 40 years, will the bridge itself last 40 years?
No, the runners probably won't.
Yeah. What I mean, all the just traffic alone, wrecks, abuse, whatever.
Well, it doesn't get any traffic, but speak of.
Any other comments? Jay?
No.
Okay, we can vote. So all those in favor of choosing the hemlock, is that what you said? Please say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, so the motion passes to choose the hemlock. Thank you, Jay.
When do they be doing that, you think, Jay?
What's that?
When do you think you'd be doing something like that?
Probably sometime in October. I just don't know when yet. We got real good weather. We're gonna finish grading and try to get that finished up. But it shouldn't, but it'll probably take us better part of a day to do one of them. But we'll see. We'll do the first one, see how that goes. Maybe we can do it quicker than we think. The only good thing is there's almost no traffic that we have to worry about while we're working on it. So we recovered approximately 500 yards of really good gravel when we graded around the garage. It does have a few big rocks mixed into it, so if we could get a hold of a screener, we'd be able to use that as added to our gravel pile. So if you guys think of somebody that's got a small screener that we could rent or whatever. The radar sign on Dover Road needs to be recharged, so I'm going to take it down. It was coming from Dover towards South Newfane. It's been there for 3 weeks, and I'm thinking of doing the other lane, going the other direction over that way, and then bring it back down into Williamsville or South Newfane, and just kind of keep rotating it around. The state police have asked for a few more speed limit signs on South Wardsboro Road. They were doing some enforcement there the other day, and they didn't think there was quite enough signs to properly mark it, so we're gonna add a few 35-mile-an-hour signs up through there.
Oh, good.
Is that going out of town or in?
On South Wardsboro Road,
Yeah.
either direction, we have to make sure we cover both directions.
Good.
The new truck is delayed a couple weeks. They did a plant shutdown to kind of catch up, so that'll be a couple weeks late. And I didn't remember to put it on my report, but I just showed you the picture of the new furnace. It looks like everything is up and working at the Williamsville Hall, so.
Good.
Great.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, Chris, do you have anything to add to the report?
Only thing, the furnace on the Williamsville Hall, they had a senior meal the other day there. And they, Steve Levine told me the furnace is working beautiful, heats the place up adequate, and he was very pleased.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, can we have the motion to accept the road
Motion to
performance?
accept it.
Second. Any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor of accepting the road foreman and road commissioner's report, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thanks, Jay. It's been accepted. So you have another item to deal with, and that is winter sand bids. And you've given them to me, and I'm going to ask Gary if you're willing to open the bids, please, and read them.
First is from Zaluzny Excavating in Vernon, Vermont. This is for 9/16 winter sand delivered to Williamsville Town Garage, $11.49 per cubic yard. First 1,500 cubic yards delivered by November 10th, 2018. That's $11.49.
May I have that so we can
Sure.
just look at it? please,
Yeah.
for a minute?
It all goes together with it.
Okay, thank you.
This is from A.S. Clark and Sons. We bid $14.50 per cubic yard of 9 and 16-inch sand delivered to Town Garage. First 1,500 cubic yards will be delivered 11/10/18 during town working hours. The bid is effective through the winter 2018-2019 season.
Thank you. This is from Fitzpatrick. Let the record show that Mike Fitzpatrick has left the room. So to speak.
Yeah, he has to recuse himself from the
Yeah.
meeting.
No, I know.
This is from Fitzpatrick. Winter sand delivered to town stock, $11 per yard. First 1,500, will take 3 to 5 days to deliver the first 1,500 yards of sand. So that's from Fitzpatrick.
Okay. Chris, do you have something?
I've got a question. Where's your sand coming from this year, Mike, if I may please ask?
I'll probably just wonder how much that.
Is it gonna be that garbage you sent us last year? The guys
I
had to
think
push,
you guys are gonna come look at it, Mr. First, before we make a decision.
they had to push it through with a shovel last
Not
year.
very often.
Well, that's not what the road crew said, so that's all.
Well, I talked to the road crew about it too. But tonight you're going through the bid, you're gonna look at the sand, so stick to the way you're supposed to be doing it.
I don't have a problem with that.
All right?
I just don't want to go through what they went through last winter.
Well, they seemed to eat up enough of it, they weren't hurting with it.
Any other discussion?
Are you looking for a motion?
Okay. Does anybody make a motion, please?
The lowest bidder being Fitzpatrick Excavating, $11 per cubic yard. I would say that they should be awarded to Fitzpatrick. They're the lowest bidder,
Okay, is there a
lowest
second?
qualified bidder.
Is there a second to that motion?
Haven't looked at it yet, I can't second it.
No, they said they were gonna look at it first, so. that's fine.
Okay, so what does that mean? We're not awarding the bid tonight then? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, we haven't seen the sand.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to wait to see the sand in order to make a decision of accepting that bid. So who is going to look at the sand and when?
Okay.
Jay? And when is that gonna, you're gonna work that out with
Yeah,
Mike?
whenever Mike's got something everything
Okay.
So do we want to bring it back for award, or do we want to make the award contingent on acceptance of the sand by the road commissioner, or the road foreman?
What
Yeah.
would you like?
That's all right.
Okay.
As long as the sand is the same quality all winter long. That's the only thing I'm concerned about.
Okay, so I'll modify my motion to award to Fitzpatrick Construction for winter sand for the entire season, 2018-19, price and quality? Price and quality? Okay, at $11 per cubic yard, contingent on the acceptance of the material by the road commission, road foreman.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Okay, so the motion passes. And so, Mike, you'll get together with Jay and tell him the quality of the sand. You can inspect it. I thank everybody else for putting in their bid, and we will let everybody know who accepts, which bid was accepted. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you, Archie, for coming. Next item on the agenda is the Administrative Assistance Report. Shannon is absent tonight, and so we're going to wait till our next meeting to give that report. Now, next item on the agenda is unscheduled members of the public. Yes?
This is a point of order. This was an acceptance item for administrative assistance report, so we should table that item.
Table it
Yeah.
instead of,
Yep, you should table it to a time certain, and the time certain would be the October 8th meeting? Oh, no, I'm sorry, October 15th. Yeah, October 15th meeting.
October 15th.
October 15th would be our next regular meeting.
No, that's September. I'm sorry, you're right. Okay, isn't that what I said? Or correct me if I'm wrong, when I said we'll wait till the next meeting for her to,
But you do need to have the minutes because it was an item that was supposed to be voted on for acceptance or approval.
right,
So you need an item in the minutes to show that it was tabled to the next meeting.
all right. Okay, so now, unscheduled members of the public.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Alex Blakeson. I live in Dummerston, and all the way back in May, it's taken me this long to be able to make it on a Monday night when you're meeting, but I had a little mishap with my car on Sunset Lake Road with a rock turned up by a grader. I went through the whole process in May and June with the town and then with Vermont League of Cities and Towns putting in an insurance claim, put in an insurance claim with my own provider, Amica. But the upshot of all of that, it's too bad that Sharon isn't here tonight because she has all these documents from way back last spring, but I'm certainly happy to just send anything that's supporting. I've got all the insurance documents and,
We have some documents.
oh, good, that's great.
Is that correct, Jay?
That's Shannon's file. She got.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. That's right. That'll just make it easier for everybody. So the upshot is that as I was about a half mile up, somewhere between a quarter and a half mile, I really haven't measured the exact distance, where you're going up Sunset Lake Road and where it starts to get very steep and very narrow. I was going up that road on May 18th, and the road had just been graded, and there was a new term for me that I now know very well, but the windrow in the middle of the road was probably about 8 or 10 inches high off of the road. The road was so narrow at the point where I was going up that there was just no turning around and backing down, and there was no going all the way to one side or the other. There was no place for me with my car but to rub alongside that windrow just enough to collide with about an 8 to 9 inch across rock that was completely concealed right in the sand in the windrow. And so it broke my front bumper, it went under the car, it bent a control arm, so it caused a bunch of damage, a lot more than I thought at first until it got repaired. So, you know, the reason that I felt that it was appropriate to bring this back last spring to the town and then to the League of Cities and Towns, you know, certainly we all know the road needs to be graded, that needs to happen. You know, I certainly travel roads all the time. Since I live in Dummerston, I travel dirt roads all the time. And usually, and I've never had an experience in 15 years of driving on them of having something that made it unsafe to pass. So this time there was that rock that was concealed. I had no way to avoid it. It caused this damage. So the League of Cities and Towns insurance process denied it because, you know, their answer basically to me, and I have their letter back to me that I can share, but their answer back was just basically that the town has to grade the roads, and if you have to drive on the road, there's always a risk, and so you knew the risk by continuing to drive on the road, and therefore it's nobody's fault but your own. My simple contention is simply that I think that I had no choice but to drive on that road, especially once I was on it. I had to go up it. I have to go up it to get to work. And that I think that, you know, a little bit better precautions could have been taken to have a truck maybe that follows right behind the grader, you know, that truck with a rake that then rakes the rocks out, or maybe even close the road if that's a potential danger that a rock of that size gets turned up and is in the middle of the road and concealed.
Okay, Alex, I'm looking at the folder that Shannon put together, and the last communication in this folder is from July 5th, 2018. And if you don't mind, I'm going to read the letter. It's to you, it's addressed to Alex Blakeson, and it says, "Dear Mr. Blakeson, thank you for your inquiry regarding the damage done to your vehicle while driving on Sunset Lake Road during grading. The board considered your request, and while they understood your frustration, they were not inclined to reimburse your expenses, as our insurance carrier, Vermont League of Cities and Towns, found us not to be liable. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. Sincerely, Shannon Meckel." And that's the last.
Correct.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm certainly aware of that response. My response to that, and I really wish that I would have been able to come a little sooner than July 2nd, but I've been away a lot of the summer and Mondays just don't seem to work out. I just don't think it's justice. I don't think it's fair. And if I can just briefly finish, I just think that it's understandable that the League of Cities and Towns, probably being far away and not close to the context of the situation, would find that way down in Newfane, you know, we're going to just apply our standard policy and find that if somebody drives on the road and their car gets damaged, that's nobody's fault of the towns. I think my hope is that you'll look at the situation a little more locally and a little more fairly from the perspective of somebody who just simply has to drive on the road, and I didn't put the rock there. So that's what I'm asking for your reconsideration of.
Mike, thank you, Mike.
Yeah, I remember when it all first come about, we talked about it and stuff, and we went over it like with Jay too. And like, you know, we just wanted to make sure he had the signs up for the grading, which they did, you know, and stuff like that. And like you said, it is a narrow road. You take one of the moldboards on a grader, you know, it's like 12 foot anyway, so it's, get down to crowd one side or the other, but, you know, we felt that, you know, that is all part of maintenance of the road. And you do have end piles, and a lot of the cars nowadays are pretty low. And, but I mean, you know, if we hadn't had the signs up and everything else, you know, then I could see us being liable for it, but, I think it's just a real bad mishap that had to get over and rip it all up like that, however it did do it. But, I don't see how you can really do it much different than what they do it. Because like you said, them roads get narrow. So you got a 12-foot blade and you only got a 16-foot wide road. Sometimes it does crowd right up to almost nothing on one lane that you might be traveling on at that time.
Yeah.
The other side might be wide and all of a sudden you got narrow, but then you work it back the other way. And that's the only way you can grade the roads is how you grade them is to get the chunks out. You have to have a berm or dirt to smooth the road up and re-crown it from winters and stuff.
Yeah.
But,
That's all true.
you know, like I said, you know, as far as the insurance goes, they probably wouldn't cover it because, you know, it's all part of maintenance. You know, like I said, if you hadn't had the signs up, it'd been a whole different story, you know.
Thank you, Mike. Chris?
When they get done grading it, they take the rake then and rake it and get all the rocks out of it.
Correct.
But you can't rake it in the, excuse me, in the midst of grading it.
But is there some way that something else can be done, knowing that there's the possibility that a rock of that size might be turned up in the process of grading? And if the road is not closed and if it's open to traffic, that a car going up that road could collide with a rock that's hidden in the berm and has no choice but to collide with that rock. And I hear you that currently the procedure is that the raking truck follows behind later and smooths everything out. Is there a different way that maybe it should have been done? Hopefully it will be done in the future, but maybe even should have been done to protect somebody, you know, if the road's open and if there's nowhere to go but to drive over a part of that berm, is that not putting drivers at risk in a way that's really, it's unsafe for the driver?
Chris?
If the sign is up, it says road being graded, however it's worded. If you're worried about that, go a different way.
Right.
There's more than one way on most all these roads around here.
Right. I don't believe, and you know, Jay may have evidence to the contrary, but I don't believe that the signs say grading. I believe that they say road work.
No, the one said road grading ahead.
That's not what I recall, but.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure I put those up that day, but we have road work ahead when we're doing ditching and stuff, and then we also have road grading. And usually it's always the road grading that's up. We try to do the roads in sections so that there's not the entire road has the windrow up it. So we may turn around at the top of the hill and do that section and then do the rest of it over to the Dummerston line. Some of the shorter roads get all done in one pass, but like South Wardsboro Road gets done in three sections, I believe it is. So that the windrow's there the least amount of time possible. But we haven't come up with a better, and a lot of times the grader operator doesn't even know the stone's in the windrow.
Sure.
He doesn't see it.
Yep.
So we haven't come up with an easier way to solve the problem.
Anybody else have a comment?
Gary?
Gary?
We have to be concerned about setting a precedent too. Where that someone feels like their car got injured in our roadway, then they come to the select board for paying for that damage, what they're going to do to us. And we don't have enough money nearly to pay for all the things people could say would be damaged from road work on the roads. From the plows to when we spread rock to when we grade. They're all items that people do get some damage to their car. It's unfortunate, and we wish there was some way to prevent it. But all we can do is put signs up.
Yeah.
Setting a precedence we're very much concerned about.
I hear you. And I'm sorry for that risk of setting a precedent. I hope that you'll also see the risk of injustice. And I really think that it's a little different to compare, you know, people's damage from a pothole or from gravel or something like that to a large rock that's sitting in the middle of the road that somebody simply has, that I didn't put there, and that was in the road, and that there was no way for me to go around. So I really think that, I really hope that you'll consider what's really fair in this particular situation. I hear that you have a worry about other people in the future. I think we're looking at this situation and what happened to me with my car on that road on that day.
Thing is, I don't even know if our insurance would cover a case like that, would it? I mean, where, like I said, he's got all the caution signs up to do it while you're
Right.
doing it. I mean, it's just, you know, I have dump trucks, same thing, a rock, I've had people say that rocks come off your truck and hit the window unless you really see it and it comes right out and hits it without hitting the road. My insurance don't cover it. And I just think that something like this, I don't know if our insurance, if we did submit it, would cover it. You know, after saying, you know, they'd go back and they'd ask Jay about the signs and all this, and I don't know if they'd cover it anyways.
Sorry, Mike. Gary, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, just an observation. It's
Can you
certainly an
just,
unfortunate.
Gary, introduce yourself, please?
Gary Katz.
Okay.
It's certainly an unfortunate incident. My recollection, though, is that unless the town has been advised of a particular road hazard and has not done something on the basis of that advisement, that the town really doesn't have liability for it. So if for instance, somebody had seen that rock in the road, told Jay about it, and the town didn't do anything about it, and then your car rode over it, then the town would be liable. But in the absence of someone having identified the road hazard in the first place, the town just doesn't have a liability. It's an unfortunate accident, and that's all that it is.
Thank you.
I believe our insurance has already denied the claim.
Yes, our insurance, the BLTC.
Yeah, that's clear, and I think when you look at it from the perspective of insurance policies and insurance programs and companies, certainly it's not unexpected that they might look at something like that and say, well, you know, we're not responsible. So my question to you is, who is?
But I think that it comes out to the person who's driving the car.
Who has no choice but to drive over a rock that someone else put in the road?
Could you have,
Did you see the rock before you hit it?
Yeah,
though, or
you-
no?
No, it was completely hidden
In the
under
dirt?
the sand.
Right. See, that's just why the grader guy didn't see it either, you know, when it's in the
Well,
berm.
he just probably won't see anything, he's looking straight ahead, he's not looking behind him ever, I'm sure.
I mean, I went up to there about the same time as that when they were doing that. As after they did the ditching and stuff. And I just happened to hit one of them sharp rocks that was graded up and blew a tire on the front. That's just what happens, you know.
Yeah.
On dirt roads after they're graded, you get them sharp stones once in a while.
I wouldn't be too concerned about the tire, I'm concerned about $750 of replacing a bumper, which is a lot of money for me.
somehow to me, it seems that, given that there were signs that the road was being worked on and graded, I personally feel that, putting myself in this position, that it's the driver's responsibility to decide if you want to take a risk and go up a road that's being worked
You
on.
drive at your own risk.
And given that VLCT already considered your request and denied it, I don't know what else we can do.
Yeah, I really strongly recall the sign saying road work ahead, which tells me I don't know what's coming, and it could be perfectly fine. And my having to be late to my job by half an hour by attempting to turn around already on that road where the signs are, and going all the way back through Brattleboro, you know, that it's not quite as simple as just saying, well, there's a sign that you know, the sign doesn't tell me what's going on up ahead. And I've never in my life had anything where there was anything actually of a risk. So I think that communication could be done better, and clearing the road of rocks could be done better. And I hope that at least, if you're not willing to see the justice of paying the whole $750 that I have to spend to replace the whole bumper, that we can find some compromise on a part of that, like split it.
I don't see we have any responsibility. I mean, I understand the situation.
I see that you
and I really feel for you. But I just, you know, our insurance just looked at it. We do a budget at the beginning of each year where we allocate the funds that are going to be spent. We don't even have a category for this. So my feeling is that the decision is what it is.
Yeah, I agree also. I think that, I think it's the driver's responsibility in this case, given that the signs were there and, I don't know, I don't want to say anymore, except that we had VLCT consider this and they said no, and
Sure.
so the town is not responsible. But personally, I still wouldn't think the town is responsible.
But of course, you still have legal recourse if you wish to take that route. I don't think that our decision is going to change. I'm only speaking for myself, but I know my vote would not change. Given all the facts that you've given us, it's just not something that we can cover.
Or wish to, it sounds like.
Okay,
We always can.
well, is there anything more to say? I don't know what else we can say except that we're sorry that it happened to you. It was an accident. There are costs with accident. The good thing is you weren't hurt, and I hope you weren't hurt. And that's all I can say. I'm sorry for you, and it was an accident, and accidents happen, and the best thing is that nobody personally was hurt.
Of course, the lesson that we've learned from this also is to make sure that we've got our signs right and that traffic is being properly controlled. When we have to shut down a road, we shut down a road. It's too narrow.
Yeah, doesn't sound like there's been much change, but best to you in Newfane.
Thank you for coming in, and have a good evening.
You too.
Okay. We are now up to old business, and the first part of old business is the Daniels Hill
Wasn't that
road decision.
Huh?
Wasn't that road thing?
No,
Wasn't that going on at the same time the ditching happened?
no, it was
That was
before.
No, that was, I think it was the second time we graded Sunset Lake here. And, I mean, I just don't know of a better way to do it. I mean, he has to move the dirt from one side to the other and then go down the center, so you've got that period of time where there's,
And it isn't probably like you met the grader right there either.
No.
He didn't, I mean, so, but I mean, I've been on a lot of dirt roads, and when you do meet the grader,
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they cup it off when
Yeah.
they see you coming, to drive through.
I've seen the same thing happen on the South Wadsworth Road before. Only thing there is the person that had this happen to them, this was several years ago, they were going about 10 times faster than they should have been going.
Now, the thing it is, you pay one, and you'll have them all standing.
Right.
Well, that's,
I mean, like I said, it's under construction, that's what the signs are for.
Right.
Yeah, guess we can put on that one long enough.
Okay. Yes, Gary?
Just the end observation, I don't know what you can do about it. I mean, if you were adding new gravel to a road, you could put it through one of the screens first to try to eliminate rocks from being there, but when you're grading an existing road, who knows what's going to be turned
it's
off.
lethal. They come right up.
Yeah.
They aren't as bad today as they used to be, I'll tell you that. There used to be rocks like that every time you graded.
Okay, we are ready to move on to the business of the Daniels Hill Road decision. As everybody knows, we had a special meeting last Monday, September 24th, and the board went into a deliberative session after everybody spoke, their thoughts and feelings about what was going on with the Daniels Hill Road. And tonight I am reading the decision, and then the board will vote on the decision. Decision and order of the Select Board, Town of Newfane, for the laying out of public highway Daniels Hill Road. At 4 p.m. on September 24th at Daniels Hill Road, the Select Board held a site visit and inspection, and at 6 p.m. a hearing for the purpose of taking testimony of petitioners, town officials, and comments from the general public as to whether the public good, necessity, and convenience of the inhabitants of the municipality require Daniel Hills Road to be laid out as a Class 3 municipal highway in the town of Newfane, Vermont. The following people were in attendance at the site visit: Marion Dowling, Select Board Chair; Michael Fitzpatrick, Select Board Member; Christopher Williams, Select Board Member / Road Commissioner; Jay Wilson, Road Foreman; Shannon Meckel, Administrative Assistant; Peter Novick, Petitioner; George Knowles, Petitioner; Maura Shader, Petitioner; and Daniel Guadalupe, Petitioner. During the site inspection, the Select Board walked the road, inspected ditching, drainage, and grade incline, the depth of the gravel, as well as the proposed turn around and access from Adams Hill Road. The following people were in attendance at the hearing: Marion Dowling, Select Board Chair; Michael Fitzpatrick, Select Board Member; Shelley Huber, Select Board Member; Christopher Williams, Select Board Member / Road Commissioner; Jay Wilson, Road Foreman; Shannon Meckel, Administrative Assistant; Doris Necto, Lister; Dane Rank, Petitioner; Peter Novick, Petitioner; Jan Knowles, Petitioner; George Knowles, Petitioner; Christian Helmstetter, Petitioner; Daniel Guadalupe, Petitioner; Gary Katz, Member of the Public; Melissa Brown, Member of the Public. During the course of the hearing, the following exhibits were introduced by the petitioners. Number 1, public good, necessity, and convenience. The case of Daniel Hills Road, South Newfane, Vermont. And number 2, annual cost estimate for the town of Newfane plowing, sanding, maintenance, and repair of Daniels Hill Road. During the course of the hearing, the following exhibit was introduced by the road foreman. Number 1, cost estimate for plowing, sanding, and maintenance, and estimated state highway help. During the course of the hearing, the following exhibits were introduced by the administrative assistants: Daniels Hill Road hearing information, historical information, and criteria for decision. Number 2, land use permit number 249. Number 3, minutes of the October 11th, 1990 Select Board meeting. Number 4, October 23rd, 1990 Select Board letter to Daniels Hill Association. Number 5, minutes of the November 8th, 1990 Select Board meeting. Number 6, November 6th, 1990, letter from District Environmental Commission to Daniels Hill Association. Number 7, Daniels Hill Road Association list of abutting landowners. And number 8, list of private roads in Newfane. Based on the evidence and exhibits presented at the hearing, the Select Board makes the following findings. Number 1, the portion of Daniels Hill Road being considered is 0.7 miles long. Number 2, the estimated cost would entail $600 per grading, and in parentheses, estimated for twice a year. $200 per small snowstorm and $400 per large storm. This does not include damage done by heavy rain or regular addition of gravel to the roads. Number 3, the State of Vermont Highway Aid pays the town $1,521 per mile for Class 3 highways, which would amount to approximately $1,065 for Daniels Hill Road. Number 4, there are 5 full-time residents utilizing Daniel Hills Road daily, and 2 additional part-time residents that utilize the road occasionally. Number 5, the Daniels Hill Association is subject to Act 250, permit number 2W0249, that stipulates that the town will not be asked to take over the road. Number 6, the Daniel Hills Road Association has previously requested that the town take over the road, and the Select Board has previously denied the request. Number 7, that the public good, necessity, and convenience of the inhabitants of the municipality does not require that the .7-mile portion of Daniels Hill Road be laid out as a public highway. Based on the preceding findings, the Newfane Select Board hereby orders that the Daniels Hill Road remain a private road, dated this day, 1st of October, 2018. So that is the decision that has been made by the Select Board. And we have to have a motion to sign. And
That would be one of the people who's in attendance.
yes,
I'll make a motion to sign it.
okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Okay, so we will take a vote. All those in favor of ordering that Daniels Hill Road remain a private road, please say aye.
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 Aye. Anybody opposed, say no. Okay, the ayes have it. And the Newfane Select Board hereby orders that Daniel Hill Road remain a private road. If you can all sign that, please, if you so choose to. Here's a pen. Oh, you have a pen?
Excuse me.
You want some tea
Nah,
or a lozenge?
no.
Whiskey.
Whiskey.
I'm so sorry, I don't have anything. Thank you very much for that, everybody. Okay, so we will give that to Shannon. Okay. Traffic calming. Is there any discussion on traffic calming? Was somebody supposed to be here to represent?
No idea.
I have no idea. Okay,
Jay said he was moving the sign to a different direction.
okay.
That's,
Okay, any other discussion
The only
about?
other thing I had to say about that all the time is that bridge over there in Williamsville. I know there's no sign when they're coming. There's one at the far end of it by the old shed. I still think it wouldn't hurt to have one at the other end, telling the guy that's got to come across there. You know, common sense would tell you to slow down and look. You know, if you have to stop, maybe once in a while stop, you know, like a yield or something maybe.
It says yield to bridge traffic, but we wonder if you should put a real yield sign there. And then maybe paint that thing on the pavement.
But you're talking about coming down Dover Road and stuff.
Yep.
I'm talking about going across the bridge itself,
Oh, yeah.
you know, from Depot Road.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I know there's one up by the garage says yield, so when somebody's coming across, but, you know, people, so they know they have the right of way, they don't look at the other end, they just keep right on coming. And then, you know, like I said, common sense would tell you to at least slow down and take a look. You have to maybe stop, you know, let the guy that didn't see you, you know, because we keep having accidents there.
Yeah. I certainly would agree with that.
I mean, I think it's a sign to say, you know, just to have them yield right away or something. I mean, shouldn't have to tell them, but
Right.
obviously you're gonna have to.
That yield sign doesn't mean a darn thing coming from Williamsville.
Yeah.
They blow right through there 50 miles an hour, just like nothing.
Well, I still think that a sign is better than no sign.
Well, yeah, it is, but I mean, you know, yeah, sometimes it might not be the guy driving's fault. I mean, there's a lot of blind spots on a car now too. When you get looking at somebody coming across the bridge, you might be look at the right time. You might not see that car, but what I'm getting at, the guys that are coming from Depot, they can just keep right on and rolling, right, which they can. But it wouldn't hurt them just to slow down and look, you know.
Well,
It,
I agree with that.
It might behoove us to request from the state, DOT, that they implement the sign plan, which they have planned for the rebuilding of the Arch Bridge. See if they would go ahead and implement the sign plan that we've already approved for that, which was designed to take care of a lot of these problems. They're the holdup because they have to approve any stop signs or things on their roads.
Right.
So, but it may be worth our while to at least ask them.
We have to go through a bunch of stuff to put new ones like that.
That's the only suggestion I had. So,
So,
I think those things in the road might help.
Cross hatching?
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones that say stop.
Yeah.
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 Well, we do have a calming committee with Andy Lambert and Bud Bergman and some other people. Maybe they had planned to come and something happened.
Remember, we did ask them to put all their ideas together and bring
Right.
it to us
Exactly.
on time. So,
So hopefully they'll come next time, or whenever they have everything ready to show. Okay, so we're up to new business, and I have two little letters. One is a West Street closure for Heritage Festival, and this is from the First Congregational Church of Newfane, and it's dated September 20th, 2018, and it says, "Dear Select Board, the Newfane Congregational Church requests that West Street and Church Street, Newfane, Vermont, be closed from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, October 6th, 2018, and Sunday, October 7th, 2018, for the 48th Annual Heritage Festival. Thank you for considering our request. Sincerely, Billy Stark, Church Administrator, for Linda Baston, Heritage Festival, Newfane Congregational Church."
motion to approve?
I don't have a problem with that,
Yeah.
but we have to do something about Cross Street, making it two-way during that time.
Mm-hmm.
We've never had that, have we?
Well, they have to go, they gotta go. You can't close the road for all day.
They go out.
they go out by Court Street.
They go out on
Oh, Court Street?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, they're going up there and come out the other
Right,
way.
right.
All right, I'm wrong. That's all right.
It's okay. Okay, so do we give them permission to
I
do
make a
this?
motion to give them permission.
Okay, second? Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay? Okay, the ayes have it, and the road, West Street and Church Street will be closed during those times on Heritage Festival weekend, which is this coming weekend. Okay, there is another item under new business, and this is checklist for internal controls. And this is something that Shannon says that we do every year. And it is a municipal checklist for internal control, part 2, other controls relating to cash or risk. And we need to sign it. The headings for all the different items are number 1, general internal control. Number 2, cash and accounts receivable. Number 3, purchasing, disbursements, and payroll. Number 4, financial records and IT. And number 5 are approvals. And this has been prepared by Melissa Brown, treasurer. And then number 3 and number, wait. Oh, this is interesting, it's different. Purchasing. Well, then there's another, number 3, I don't understand this, but it's purchasing, disbursement, and payroll. And number 4, financial records and IT. And number 5, approvals. And so we have to have a motion that the select board chair signs.
Motion to approve controls, annual controls?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in
Internal
favor?
controls.
Yes, municipal internal controls. All those in favor of approving the controls and for the chair to sign, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Correspondence, I do not see that there's any correspondence.
Okay.
There's none in the tray. Unless there's... Is that correspondence? Are you, okay. I was looking up on the tray where we used to hold it. Thank you very much. Okay. This is a quarterly zoning report. And this must be from Earl. If anybody wants to
Oh,
look
this
at it.
is, yes, it's a list of the applications that have been processed.
Right.
et cetera.
But there's nothing to sign.
Where we read it.
There's nothing to sign.
It's just information for us.
Yeah, and then there's also an announcement for Fall Planning and Zoning Forum, Wednesday, October 17th at Lake Maury Resort in Fairleigh. So we will put this, I'll put it back in the correspondence or on the tray if anybody wants to see it. And that's it. So we have pay orders, and are we voting, making a motion to do pay orders?
We make a motion to approve pay order.
To
till we
approve
finish
pay
Going
orders.
through everything.
Okay. So that's it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Everybody have a safe week. Remember that we have the Heritage Festival in Newfane this weekend, and we hope to see everybody.
Yeah, we got new business over there.